بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. The sixth point is about the signs of haqiqa and majaz. How can we establish what is the real or true meaning, what is the metaphorical meaning? So, whenever a term is used by a speaker or a writer and you doubt, what is al-ma'na al-haqiqi? What is the true meaning for this term, the literal meaning? Then there are few signs that you can use. The first is at-tabadur. When you hear this term, what is the first meaning that comes to your mind? Something that without any additional evidence, without anything that takes your mind to another meaning. Just when you hear the term without anything else, what comes to your mind? That is al-ma'na al-haqiqi. Of course, we said this works for someone who knows the language. If someone doesn't know the language or has to ask other people, then this is not working for him. So he has to refer to the people who speak that language. So, at-tabadur, as I said last week, means to precede. Mubadara means to take the initiative. So, at-tabadur means that condition that a meaning has, because it's a true meaning, and it comes very fast to our mind when we hear the term. So, إذا استعمل المتكلم لفظا في معنى معين. When the speaker uses a term in a certain meaning, in a certain sense, فلو علم أنه موضوع له. If it is known that it is the same meaning for which this was designated, سمي هذا الاستعمال حقيقيا. This usage is called حقيقي. It's the true and real one. وأما إذا شك في المستعمل فيه. But if there is doubt about the sense in which this term is used and whether it is موضوع له, the same meaning for which it was designated or not, فهناك علامات. There are signs تميز بها الحقيقة عن المجاز, by which حقيقة can be distinguished from مجاز. The very first sign is at-tabadur. What is tabadur? I mentioned this for you last session, but I am just reviewing in case someone was not there. هو انسباق المعنى إلى الفهم. انسباق. One meaning precedes other meanings and comes to your mind. انسباق المعنى إلى الفهم من نفس اللفظ. Just by hearing the term, one meaning comes first to your mind. مجردا عن كل قرينة. You don't add any evidence to it. For example, you say water, ma. Ma, not ma'ul furat, not for example ma'ul qibnina or whatever. Just ma. When you hear ma, what comes to your mind? Without any additional evidence. وهذا يدل على أن المستعمل فيه معنى حقيقي. If what has been used for comes quickly to your mind without any evidence, that is معنى حقيقي. That is the true meaning. Why? إذ ليس لحضور المعنى في الذهن سبب, because for the presence, for coming of the meaning to the mind, there is no cause, there is no reason except one of the two. إما القرينة, either it is because of the evidence which that meaning comes to your mind, أو الوضع, designation, coining. والأول منتف قطعا, the first, and that is to be caused by evidence, is rejected here because we assume that there is no evidence. كما هو المفروض. Our assumption was that there is no evidence. فيثبت الثاني, so it is because of وضع. So when meaning comes to your mind, it's either because there is evidence or it's because this is the meaning for which it has been designated.
Muntafin is rejected, right?
Muntafin means it's rejected, it's negated. So this is tabadur. You can have, sisters, you can have a handout. The second sign, صحة الحمل والسرب. What does it mean? Sometimes you have doubt, again, about the meaning. You have to see whether it's possible to predicate that meaning for that subject or not. Okay? But before we explain this, I have to remind you of something that you have studied in logic. In logic, if you remember, we said we have two types of propositions, two types of qadiyya hamliya. Hamliya means subject and predicate. For example, we say Zaydun qa'imun. You have mawzu and mahmud. Okay? Al-insanu haywanun natiq. هذا الإنسان كاتب. These are all قضية حملية. Means you have subject and predicate. موضوع and محمول. Sometimes الحمل ذاتي أولي is primary, in the sense that subject and predicate are the same. The only difference might be one is expanded version of the other. For example, if we say al-insanu insanun, it's hamla awwali. Al-insanu insan. If you say al-insanu haywanun natiqun, again it's hamla awwali. Because subject and predicate are the same. The only difference is that haywanun natiq is expanded version, is more detailed version of al-insan. So, this is hamle awwaliya zati, and as we say, it is hamle hu. It's huwa. Which means the subject and predicate are identical in meaning. Al-insanu haywanun natiqun, not al-insanu haywanun only. Al-insanu haywanun natiqun, but al-insanu insanu. What is the benefit of saying al-insanu haywanun natiqun? You are clarifying what is jins and fast for insan. So it's a definition, had. What is the benefit of saying al-insanu insanun? Someone may say, what is the benefit of saying al-insanu insanun? What is the answer? In what sense?
It might be in the sense of abilities. Might be in the sense of abilities.
So what does it mean?
It has something to do with hasr, al-insan, that he's insan and nothing else. And then there's no other option.
It can be ill, it can be...
When we say al-insanu insanun, this is normally said when a person has said something or thought something that is like denying insan being insan. For example, if someone expects too much from a human being, you know, for example, why human beings, for example, get ill, why they die, why they make mistakes, You say, Baba, al-insanu insanu. Don't expect too much from insan. Okay? Or if someone says something in a negative way about human beings, again we say al-insanu insanu, means it's not an animal, it's not an object. Yeah? For example, if someone denies honor and dignity of human beings, we say al-insanu insanu. Insan is not an animal, it's not an object, it's a physical object. Or sometimes you don't have anything better to say. For example, one of the writers, actually he said this in a speech, but he wrote, there's a book also based on that, said that I wanted to talk about Lady Fatima, and I wanted to say Fatima is daughter of Lady Khadija, which is a great credit. But then I thought Lady Fatima is greater than just being daughter of Khadija. Is daughter of Prophet, but Prophet had other daughters. Wife of Amir al-Mu'mineen, but she's even greater than. Mother of Imam Hassan, but she. So he says at the end, the only thing I can say is Fatima asked. So this is the only thing I can say. So, yes. So it makes sense to say Fatima asked. So don't say, if they are the same, what is the point? Sometimes it makes sense because either someone has denied, or we are going to expand, like al-insanu hiwanun natin, or as I gave you a few examples. Anyway, this is called al-hamlul awwaliyyu dhati, which you studied in logic. The second type of haml is al-hamlu sha'i' as-sana'i. And that is where the subject is identical with the predicate in existence. Not 100% identical. It means that they have some unity in existence. In other words, the subject is some of the instances or all the instances of the predicate. In Hamla Awali, your focus is on the concepts being equal. Here the focus is on the existential relation. For example, if we say al-insanu haywan, or if we say some human beings are scholars, some human beings are scientists, some human beings are writers. This is haml shaya sanai. Means there is a connection between the two. There are some cases of the predicate that are overlapping with the subject. So, first we explain two types of haml. Al-awwal, al-hamlu al-awwaliyyu dhati, huwa ma idha kana al-mahmul nafs al-mawdu'. The predicate is the same as subject, mafhuman. Conceptually they are the same. They are equal in meaning. بأن يكون ما يفهم من أحدهما نفس ما يفهم من الآخر. It's very important, to read accurately. You must be able to read accurately. Unfortunately, some people, when they read with many mistakes. Some people were very concerned. I told you the story of a person who was very concerned about reading carefully. Yeah? Some people maybe don't remember. There was a person who was Nahvi. You know, he was a master of Nahw, and he was very careful about people being able to read according to the rules of Nahw, syntax. So one day when he was passing by a house, he saw that they have a plaque, Yadullahi fawqu aydihim. Fawqu. There was Zamm. It's a mistake. So I don't know whether he told them and they didn't listen or he wanted to correct by himself. Anyway, he put the ladder and went on the top of the ladder to fix this. So they thought he's a thief. They took him, and in order to give a lesson to everyone in the town, they took him around the city to say this is the punishment of the thief. So when they were taking him around, one person also was declaring what is his crime. So imagine you are an alim of Nahw and you wanted to correct this. Now they are taking you as a thief and you going around as a thief. So you must be very sad. So this person was saying, "Hada jaza man saraq." This is the punishment of the one who has committed theft. He said, "Jaza'u, not jaza'a." Hada jaza'u man saraq, not jaza'a. So you should reach this level of attention to Nahw, that even if you are innocently arrested and they mistakenly use Nahwi rules, you have to correct them. Okay? So it's very important. هو إذا كان المحمول نفس الموضوع مفهوما. If you can read correctly, I can understand that you understood. You know, by just listening to someone, you can understand whether he understood it or not. إذا كان المحمول نفس الموضوع مفهوما. The subject is the same as predicate, but the same in what? مفهوما. This is tamiz. Mafhum is tamiz. Tamiz, what does it mean, tamiz?
It's mansub, that's why tamiz to
Clean.
distinguish.
Clean. Tamiz doesn't mean clean. Tamiz.
Distinguish.
Yes. So they are the same as concepts. بأن يكون ما يفهم من أحدهما نفس ما يفهم من الآخر. What we understand from one of them is the same as what we understand from the other. So there is unity in their meaning. Conceptually they are identical. مع اختلاف بينهما في الإجمال والتفصيل. Sometimes there can be a difference in إجمال and تفصيل, and sometimes there is no difference even in إجمال and تفصيل. Like الإنسان إنسان, there is no difference at all. There can be a difference like al-insanu hiwanun natiq. So insan is compressed, hiwanun natiq is detailed out, is expanded. Have you studied this in mantiq? Hamla awwali, hamla shayya. Yes? Yeah. الثاني الحمل الشائع الصناعي. Do you know why they call it Sha'i or Sana'i? Sha'i means common. Because this is the most of the time when we use Qaziyya Hamliya, preposition is for this type of haml. Yeah? Sha'i means common. And Sana'i means this is used in Sana'at, in different sciences. You know, Sana'at, in Mantiq, Sana'at means sciences. So what is al-hamlu shai' sana'i? هو ما إذا كان الموضوع مغايرا للمحمول في المفهوم. they are not the same as concepts. In meaning, in concept, they are different. But وَمُتَّحِدًا مَعَهُ فِي الْخَارِجِ, in existence, in outside reality, external reality, they have some unity. Between subject and predicate, there is a unity. There is an overlap, not in concept, in existence. كما إذا قلنا زيد إنسان. When we say Zayd insanun, we don't want to say the meaning of Zayd is the same as insan, or we don't want to say insan is an expanded version of Zayd. We want to say that Zayd and insan have some existential connection. Of course, this example is questionable. When you study more logic and philosophy, this can be questioned. Because insaniya is haqiqatu Zayd. So there's a chance that someone says, this is also one of Hamla Abadi Zati. But there can be another opinion. But anyway, maybe a better example is like Zaydun Katibun. That's more acceptable. Zaydun Katibun. Okay, after you understood what is Hamla Awwali al-Dhati, what is Hamla Sana'i, you understood it. Now, let's go back to our discussion. Our discussion was about signs of Haqiqa and Majaz. Whenever you have a term and you don't know what is the true meaning, in addition to tabadur, you can use another sign, and that is Sihhatul Haml. If you see something can be used as a predicate for another thing, as Hamla Awwaliya Zati, then it means that the meaning is the same. So you can understand what is the ma'na al-haqiqi. إذا اتضح ما تلوناه عليك. What does it mean? إذا اتضح ما تلوناه عليك.
If it has become clear what we have explained to you.
Yes. اتضح comes from which root? اتضح وضوح, yeah, وضح. Because it was ابتضح. ابتضح, vav becomes ta. Okay? This is misal wawi, and in bab al-iftar it becomes ta. اتضح. If it has become clear for you what we read for you, what we told you, talawnahu alayk means we told you, we spoke about it. It means that if you understood the difference between Hamla Awwaliya Zati and Hamla Shayya Sana'i, fa'lam. Now please be informed. أن المقصود من أن صحة الحمل أو صحة السلب علامة للحقيقة والمجاز هو القسم الأول. If something can be used as a predicate for something, it's a sign of haqiqah. But what type of predication? Hamla awwali. If something can be negated, it's sign of majaz. If it is used in that sense, because you could negate. But if it is negation in the form of hamla awwali, not hamla shayya. هو القسم الأول. Al-Maqsood huwa al-Qismul Awwal. This al-Qismul Awwal is khabar for al-Maqsood if you take huwa as zamir fasl. Otherwise you can take huwa as a normal zamir and be mubtada, al-Qismul Awwal khabar, and then huwa al-Qismul Awwal together be a jumla ismiya, be khabar for al-Maqsood. Okay? فصحة الحمل والهوية تكشف عن وحدة المفهوم والمعنى. If it is possible to say this is that, A is B, it means that, according to Hamla Abalizat, it means that the meaning is the same. وهو عبارة أخرى عن وضع أحدهما للآخر. كما أن صحة السلب, the fact that it is correct to negate shows that their meaning is not the same. So if this term is used in that meaning, it is majaz, because you could negate it. مثلا إذا صح حمل الحيوان المفترس على الأسد بالحمل الأولي. If it is correct, acceptable, to say al-asadu حيوان مفترس, so it means that the meaning is the same. So the meaning of asad is al-haywanul muftaras. Now, when we say asad haywan muftaras, according to Hamla Awwali, يكشف عن أن المحمول نقض الموضوع مفهوما وهو عبارة أخرى عن وضع أحدهما للآخر. كما إنه إذا صح سلب الحيوان الناطق عن الأسد بالحمل الأولي. Can we say al-asadu laysa bihaywan al-natiq? Yes. So it means that haywan al-natiq is not the meaning of asad. So if someone uses asad for a human being, we realize that this is majaz, because we can say asad is not haywan al-natiq, asad is not insan. So it's majaz. كما إذا قيل الأسد ليس حيوانا ناطقا يكشف أن التغاير المفهومي بينهما. There is a difference in concept. Conceptually they are different. وهو يلازم عدم وضع أحدهما للآخر. When they are conceptually different, it means that one of them is not designated for the other. So the meaning of Asad is not حيوان ناطق. حيوان ناطق is human being. So, the second sign of haqiqa is sihhatul ham, and sign of majaz is sihhatul salb. But sihhatul haml al-awwali, not sihhatul haml al-shayyad. Yeah? Because for haml al-shayyad, their meaning doesn't need to be the same. For haml al-awwali. I don't know, have you grasped this point or not?
I think there's a few questions.
Because this is something that looks very difficult, when you are talking about these terms. But the root of the point is very clear. In your mind, do you find that there is identical unity between the two or not? Very simple. This terminology makes it very difficult. صحة الحمل وعدم صحة الحمل كذا. The point is this: you have doubt whether asad, if it is used for a brave person, is haqiqa or majaz. In your mind, if you know the language, can you say asad is rajul shuja or any human being? No. So, salam alaikum. Actually, it seems that this goes back to the first, to tabadur. Because first, a meaning comes to your mind, and then you judge whether haml is correct or not. This goes back to tabadur. It's not different from tabadur. It's another way of looking at tabadur. Yes?
If we test it through negation, صحة السلب mainly, why do we say صحة الحمل as well? Because we're just testing it through negation only, we're not testing the...
صحة for haqiqa, صحة السلب is sign for majaz. So sometimes we see we can do haml, so this is haqiqa. Sometimes we see we can do salb, so this is majaz.
As long as we can do haml, then it's haqiqa.
Yes.
As long as that happens.
Yes.
So,
Alhamdulillah.
all of that awali is haqiqa then.
Yes. If you can use it hamla awwali, then it's haqiqa. The third is al-ittirad. The third sign of haqiqah is al-ittirad. What is ittirad? Maybe in some books you have come across this term. Muttarid, ittirad. Ittirad means something is very common, very common, very popular, happens a lot. When a term that you want to clarify its meaning can be used for all different types of cases of a concept without any difficulty, without feeling anything strange, then it shows that it is designated for that. For example, when you say rajul, rajul can be used for Zayd, for Am, for Bakr, can be used for all of them without being limited to any of them. It is muttarid. It's used and it's applicable to all of them. So the meaning of rajul must be something which can be found in all of them. Okay? إذا اضطرد استعمال لفظ في أفراد كلي بحيثية خاصة. If it is very popular, very common, very frequent that a term is used in instances of a universal concept with a particular consideration. For example, rajul, man, because of being manhood, can be applied to Zayd and Bakr because they all share manhood. Okay? So, here, when you see it's used for Zayd, it's used for Am, it's used for Bakr, not as Zayd and Amr and Bakr as themselves, because then it would be mushtarak al-lafzi. Rajul is not used for Zayd bima huwa Zayd. Rajul is not used for Amr bima huwa Amr. Rajul is used in Zayd because there is something in Zayd, which is also in Amr, which is also in Bakr. Okay? So, when you see Zayd can be used in each of these because of a common element in each of them, then we realize that the meaning of, when you see Rajul can be used in all of them because of a common element, we realize that common element is the meaning of Rajul. What is common between them? Manhood. كاستعمال الرجل باعتبار الرجولية باعتبار الرجولية في زيد وعامر وبكر مع القطع بعدم كونه موضوعا لكل واحد على حدة. We are 100% sure that Rajul is not coined or designated for Zayd. Yeah? And Amr and Bakr separately. If the meaning of Rajul was Zayd, and then it had another meaning, then it's mushtarak al-lafzi. It's equivocal. Do you get the point? Rajul can be applied to all of them, but not ala hidatan. It can be applied to all of them because they all share something common. And that common thing is the meaning of Rajul. What is common between them? Rajuliyah, that manhood. إذا اضطرد استعمال لفظ في أفراد كلي بحيثية خاصة كاستعمال رجل باعتبار الرجولية في زيد وعمر وبكر مع القطع بعدم كونه موضوعا لكل واحد على حدة يستكشف منه وجود جامع بين الأفراد قد وضع اللفظ بإضائه. When the usage of a term in instance of a universal concept with a specific condition or consideration is very common, like rajul being used because of manhood for Zayd, for Amr and Bakr, and we know it is not designated for each of them per se, each of them specifically. So we can discover that there is a common factor, and the meaning of this rajul is that common factor. What is common between Zayd and Amr and Bakr? فَالْجَاهِلُ بِاللُّغَةِ, the one who is ignorant, he doesn't know the language. إِذَا أَرَادَ الْوُقُوفِ على معاني اللغات الأجنبية من أهل اللغة. If someone doesn't know a language and he wants to know the meaning of foreign words, foreign terms from the people of language. So you are not Arab, for example. You want to know the meaning of Arabic terms by referring to the people of Arabic language, those who speak Arabic. فَلَيْسَ لَهُ, he has no choice. لَيْسَ لَهُ سَبِيلٌ, he has no path, no way. إِلَّا الْإِسْتِمَاعِ إِلَى مُحَاوَرَاتِهِ. If you are not an Arabic speaking, you have to listen to Arabs. When they speak Arabic language, you have to listen. فَإِذَا رَأَى أَنَّ لَفْظًا خَاصًا يُسْتَعْمَلُ مَعَ مَحْمُولَاتٍ عَدِيدَةٍ فِي مَعْنًى مُعَيَّنٍ. When you see a specific term is used with many predicates, so it has become subject for many predicates, but in a specific meaning. For example, al-faqih, you go to mujtahid, fuqaha, they say al-ma'u tahirun wa mutahharun. So books of fiqh, they use ma and they say tahirun wa mutahhar. You go to chemists, al-kimiyai, those who do chemistry, they say al-ma'u ratbun, not rotabun, ratbun sayyalun. It's a liquid subject. Okay? قال الفيزيائي, if you ask an expert in physics, he says الماء لا لون له, has no color. Okay. When you listen to Arab people, you see those who are in fiqh, Arab people who use fiqh language, they say al-ma'u tahirun mutahhar. Those who are kimiyai, chemistry, they say al-ma'u ratbun sayyar. Those who are doing physics, they say it has no color. So when you reflect on all these different types of usage of the term al-ma', you find that it is used in something which is common.
What is Rakbat Sayyar, please? Rakbat Sayyar.
Sayyar means flowing. So it's a liquid which flows. يقف على أن اللفظ موضوع لما استعمل فيه. This term is designated for the same meaning in which it is used. لأن المصحح له, because what gives permission to use is إما الوضع أو العلاقة. It's either designation or علاقة, one of the relations for majaz. You remember we said majaz needs علاقة, either مشابهة or other علاقات in majaz mursal. You remember? We said majaz needs علاقة. There must be a connection between معنى الحقيقي and معنى المجازي. That can be مشابهة, then we call it استعارة. It can be something other than مشابهة like جزء كل. We call it مجاز مرسل. Okay? You have to remember these things. Repeat it. ملاحظة. Take note. So مصحح له, what makes the usage correct is إما الوضع أو العلاقة. Either it is designated for this meaning or there is a connection that helps us for معنى المجازي. But if there is a علاقة, particular علاقة, then it cannot be generalized. It can only be used when that علاقة is there. والثاني لا اضطراد فيه. It would not be common. فيتعين الأول. So when you see a term is frequently used in this sense, in different contexts, without any علاقة, then it shows that this is the معنى الحقيقي. Let us give you an example. If you remember, I told you this example comes about غنمتم. ولنذكر مثالا آخر. Let's mention another example. One example was water. This is the second example. إن آية الخمس. آية خمس. In Surah Anfal. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. واعلموا أنما غنمتم من شيء فأن لله خمسه وللرسول ولذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل. Be informed that whenever you take ghanima, I say ghanima because we want to define what is ghanima. Whenever you take ghanima, you make ghanima, 1/5 is for God, for the Prophet, for the kinship, for the orphans, for needy, and for Ibn Sabil, those people who are stuck in a place outside their home. This ayah توجب إخراج الخمس عن الغنيمة. It makes paying khums obligatory. Now, there is a question. You know, between Sunni and Shia Muslims, there is a question. هل الكلمة الغنيمة موضوعة للغنائم الحربية، للغنائم المأخوذة في الحرب، أو تعم كل فائدة يحوزها الإنسان من طرق شتى؟ The question is this. Is the term غنيمة designated for all the profits, or it is only for booties of war? Shia say it's for all the profits you make, including booties of war. Our Sunni brothers say it's for booties of war only. هل الكلمة الغنيمة, this al-ghanima in the sentence is what? What is the role of this kalima? According to Nahw. هل الكلمة الغنيمة موضوعة للغنائم؟ اسم معرفة is according to Sarf, Tayziyah. I'm asking about Tartib.
It's filing.
No.
Badal?
Yes, Badal or Atf Bayan. You can say Badal or you can say Atf Bayan. هل الكلمة الغنيمة موضوعة للغنائم المأخوذة في الحرب? Is it designated for the booties which are taken in war? أو تعم, it includes كل فائدة, every profit, يحوزها الإنسان من طرق شتى, that a person can make from different ways. يحوز, what does يحوز mean?
gained or something?
Gain. It's from hiyaza. Hiyaza. Have you heard hiyaza? Hiyaza means to acquire, to gain. Okay, haiz. Haiz means someone who has acquired something. Yustakshafu thani. We can understand that the second is correct. How you discover that the second is correct? Through ittirad. We see that ghanima is used very commonly in meanings other than booty of war as well. We are not denying that it can be used for booties, but we say it's also very common to be used in other things. So this shows that the meaning is not exclusive to war booties. The meaning has to be more common. Okay?
Because it's mutarrid.
Muttarid.
Mutarrid.
Yeah.
Mutarrid.
إذا تتبعنا. تتبعنا, what does it mean إذا تتبعنا? No. تتبع. تتبع means research. تتبع means to go and, collect data to do some research. When we do some research and investigate different cases, إذا تتبعنا الكتاب والسنة, if you do research in the Quran and Sunnah, نجد, we find اضطراد استعمالها في كل ما يحوزه الإنسان من أي طريق كان. We find that the term ghanima is commonly used in every profit that you have made. For example, in Surah Nisa, verse 94, تَبْتَغُونَ عَرَضَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا فَعِنْدَ اللَّهِ مَغَانِمُ كَثِيرَةٌ. You seek the good of this lower life, this nearest life. Dunya, either it's from dunov or dana'a, the lowest life or the nearest life, al-hayatul dunya. You are looking for the good, for the pleasure of hayatul dunya. فَعِنْدَ اللَّهِ مَغَانِمُ كَثِيرًا. But next to Allah are many maghanim. Question, does maghanim mean war booties? No. Means there are many things with Allah that you can benefit from. Okay?
Yes. Can I ask a question, please?
Yes.
There was istinbat means research, and now you said what's the difference between the two?
Between?
Research, I was told, means istinbat means research. Istinbat. And this one also means research.
No. Istinbat means to go deep. Like when you are digging a well and you want to reach water. This is istinbat. Tatabbu is to go around and do research. For example, I want to say what is Islamic view about, for example, environment. Tatabbu means I go and check as much as possible all the books of hadith, all the writings. This tatabbu means you go everywhere and do inclusive research. Tatabbu. Istinbat is you go deep and try to reach water, means to reach haqiqah.
Please explain istidlal as well.
Istidlal means to argue. وقال رسول الله. Another case, another example. That was from Quran, now from Sunnah. في مورد الزكاة. Rasulullah said about zakat, Allahumma ja'alha maghnaman. Oh Allah, please make zakat, the alms that we give, maghnaman. Something that we benefit from, a profit. Some people think that when you give sadaqah, you are losing. But Rasulullah says, this is gaining. And ask for Allah to make it a gaining for us. So is this about war booty? No. وفي مسند أحمد ibn Hanbal in his Musnad says غنيمة مجالس الذكر الجنة. What you can gain from the gatherings of remembrance of God is heaven. So غنيمة is not warbuti. Or وفي وصف شهر رمضان. You know, we have a description of months of Ramadan. غنم المؤمن. غنم. غرم and غنم. These are opposite. غرم means like a penalty. Something that you lose. غرم. غرامة. غريمة. غرامة means penalty. غنم is what you gain. You make a profit. So you see, there are many examples in which the term ghanima and its derivatives are used for general profit. So no one can say it's only war, booty, and nothing else. If it is used in something else, it's majaz. This is not majaz because you see it's used very frequently in other things. فهذه الاستعمالات الكثيرة المضطردة تكشف عن وضعه للمعنى الأعم. These frequent common usage show that ghanima is designated for a more general meaning. It's not just war booty, it's more general. وهذا هو الطريق المألوف في اقتناص مفاهيم اللغات ومعانيها. المألوف, what does المألوف mean?
Well known, established.
Ma'luf comes from ulfa, means something that you are acquainted with. هذا هو الطريق المألوف means this is the common way. This is a very, established, something we are used to it. اقتناص. اقتناص means to take out, to hunt, to take out. This is a common way of drawing, understanding, inferring the meanings of the terms. وفي تفسير لغات القرآن. If you want to understand some of the words in the Quran. ومشكلات السنة. If there are some words which are difficult to understand in hadith. وعليه قاطبة المحققين. Almost all researchers, they agree. ويطلق على هذا النوع من تفسير القرآن التفسير البياني. This type of interpretation of the Quran is called التفسير البياني. You try to explain the Quranic terms by finding out what is their true meaning, by looking at different cases. Yes.
Just one question, Sheikh. If I was to give an equivalent to مضطرد أو اضطراد in English, what would the word be?
Common, popular, frequent. The fourth, تنسيس أهل اللغة. When the people of the language, what does it mean the people of language? It's those who are professionals or whose mother tongue is that language and they are of course educated, If they explicitly say this is the meaning of a term, tansis means to say something explicitly. المراد من تنسيس أهل اللغة هو تنسيس مدون معاجم اللغة العربية. I think my voice reaches college as well. I'm shouting just to help you understand. Is it helping you or just I'm tiring myself? Okay. So what we mean by explicitly saying of the people of language is not that people on the street, say something. We are talking about the people who know the language, who is their mother tongue, but also they are experts. Therefore, he says tansiso mudavvini. Mudavvan comes from tadwin, those who have compiled, the compilers of ma'ajim al-lughat al-arabiyyah, dictionaries of Arabic language. Okay? Of course, you know that some of the dictionaries of Arabic language are done by non-Arabs. And some of the books of Sarf and Nahw are done by non-Arabs also. But they have spent their life in learning. فَإِنَّ مُدَوِّنِ اللُّغَةِ الْأَوَائِلِ. What is al-awail? Yeah, no. What is the role of al-awail?
They were the first ones to compile.
Yeah, so according to Nahw. No.
Oh, Nahwiyan. I thought you were asking.
No, Nahw. Al-awail is adjective for mudawwini. Mudawwini al-lugha. Which mudawwini? Al-awail. Al-qudama. So you have muzaf and muzafun ilayh, but when you have adjective for muzaf, you cannot bring it right after muzaf. You have to bring it after muzafun ilayh.
So tamyiz is it, Sheikh? Tamyiz?
No, it's sifa. Adjective, sifa. Tamyiz is nakara, but this is ma'af. Is it clear?
What is maduni?
Mudawwini al-lugha. Then we want to describe which mudawwini al-awail. If it was not muzaf ilayh, you could say فَإِنَّ الْمُدَوِّنِينَ الْأَوَائِلِ لِلُّغَةِ. But now we say mudawwini al-lugha al-awail means those early compilers of Arabic dictionaries. كالخليل بن أحمد الفراهيدي مؤلف كتاب العين. It's a very famous book, العين, كتاب العين by خليل بن أحمد. توفي في سنة 170. He died in 170 after Hijrah. So in the 2nd century he died. والجوهري مؤلف الصحاح. كتاب الصحاح للجوهري. These two are some of the early experts on Arabic language. One is 2nd century, the other is the 4th century. قد دونوا كثيرا من معاني الألفاظ. They have compiled many meanings of the terms. How did they collect it and compile? It was not easy for them. من ألسن القبائل العربية. They used to go and spend time with different Arab tribes, major Arab tribes. They spent time with them, wrote down, what do they mean by these terms. وَسُكَّانِ الْبَادِيَةِ. Bedouins, those who lived in deserts. So these people, if they say that this is the meaning of a term, فَتَنْسِيسُ مِثْلِ هَؤُلَاءِ يَكُونُ مُفِيدًا لِلْإِطْمِئْنَانِ بِالْمَوْضُوعِ لَهُ. Helps us in becoming confident. It gives you itmi'nan. Itmi'nan, what does it mean? Satisfaction, confidence. It's not yaqeen, but a little bit less than yaqeen. You are almost sure. Pardon? yeah, a kind of reassurance, a kind of, you can have peace of mind. Peace of mind.
Ainul yaqeen, not haqqul yaqeen.
No, not yaqeen.
Not yaqeen at all.
It's not yaqeen, but it's more than
Then
dhann. We say adhannul muta'akhimu lil yaqeen. It's something that leaves no worry. Yeah? For example, if something is 99%, you're almost sure. Okay?
Is this the same meaning in the ayah?
No, that is peace of heart. That can come with yaqeen.
So which one's the haqiqah and majaz here?
It's haqiqah, both of them is haqiqah.
But it's different meaning.
Different usage, different cases. Itmi'nan means you have peace. This peace can be because you have yaqeen, or it can be peace because the chance of not this being the case is very little. So it's more common. Itmi'nan is a more common thing. So from context you have to understand. From context. Okay. So according to Ayatollah Subhani, if the people who are experts in language, they explicitly say this is the meaning of this term, you can be almost certain. Of course, we have a discussion later about hujjiyatu qawl al-lughawi. Is the view of opinion of the lughawi. Hujjah, many people say it's not hujjah. Actually, many people say it's not hujjah. But it's not hujjah if it remains at the level of dhann. But our Subhani says it can give you itminan, then of course it's hujjah. So it depends whether you can have peace of mind when you read their research, their thing, or you have doubt. If you have doubt, then no.
So what's the authority of the translation of Quran bil lugha?
These translations have no authority because these are done by people that they themselves might not be experts in Arabic. You mean translation of Quran into Arabic language or
Into any other language when they use the lugha and they use...
so you mean their understanding?
Yes.
Yeah, because we can have also translation of Quran into Arabic. Arabic to Arabic. We have Arabic to Arabic dictionary.
Nur ala nur.
Yeah. Anyway, none of these translators are experts in Arabic normally, at least English, I don't think any of them is expert in the sense that like Khalil ibn Ahmad or Jawhari. Because either they are people who are people of our age or maybe just 1 century ago, and many of them are not even native. Most of them, as far as I know, I don't want to say 100% because I don't remember everyone, but as far as I know, there is no one that you can say this person is an authority in Arabic language. Normally their strength is in the second language. They have translated the Quran because they were good in the second language, English or French,
indeed, yes.
Okay. Now we have another sweet discussion. This was very sweet, yeah? So another sweet discussion is when you know what is haqiqah. Okay? You know. But you are not sure, is it used in ma'na al-haqiqi or not? This is different from our previous discussion. In the previous discussion, we wanted to establish what is ma'na al-haqiqi. Now, we know what is ma'na al-haqiqi, but I want to know what is meant here in this sentence. You understand the difference? Sometimes we want to know what is ma'na al-haqiqi lil-ghanima, what is ma'na al-haqiqi lil-ma'. Sometimes, no. We want to see, is the term that we know already its meaning, is it used in ma'na al-haqiqi or it's used in ma'na al-majazi? What should we do if we have doubt? Of course, the first assumption is that it's used in ma'na al-haqiqi unless proved otherwise. Is it clear or not? So, al-amru as-sabi', seventh point, al-usul al-lafziyya, linguistic principles. You have already had this in the previous book. We had this discussion. إن الشك في الكلام يتصور على نحوين. Doubt about a text, about a word, can be conceived in two ways. So there can be two types of doubts. الشك في المعنى الموضوع له. He wants to explain what is the difference between this discussion and the previous discussion. Sometimes you have doubt about the meaning for which the term is designated. You don't know the معنى الحقيقي. كالشك في أن السعيد, السعيد with صاد, not sin. فتيمموا سعيدا طيبا. سعيد, what does سعيد mean? If you have doubt whether it is designated for soil or مطلق وجه الأرض, anything which is on the surface of the earth, وجه الأرض means anything which is on the surface of the earth. It can be soil, it can be sand, it can be a rock. Okay? So, can we do tayammum with a stone, with marble? If you say فَتَيَمَّمُوا سَعِيدًا means soil, so you cannot do tayammum with marble. But if you say sa'id means wajhul ard, you can do tayammum with marble. So it's important for us to establish what is al-ma'na al-haqiqi lis-sa'id. So, sometimes you have doubt about what is the meaning for which this term is designated. What is ma'na al-haqiqi for this term? Second, الشك في مراد المتكلم بعد العلم بالمعنى الموضوع له. Sometimes we know what is موضوع له, we know المعنى الحقيقي, but we have doubt whether the speaker has used it in معنى الموضوع له or has used it in a second meaning, معنى المجازي. Is it clear? الشك في مراد المتكلم بعد العلم بالمعنى الموضوع له. The first type of doubt, that you don't know what is موضوع له and you want to establish موضوع له, we already discussed it in the sixth point. Because علامات الحقيقة والمجاز, التبادر الاضطراد, صحة الحمل, تنسيس وحدة اللغة, was for what?
To establish that it's haqiqah.
For the first type of doubt. Okay? So the first type of doubt, we already talked about it. Yes? وعلمت أن هناك علامات يميز بها المعنى الحقيقي عن المجازي. But if you know what is معنى الحقيقي and you doubt whether it has been used in معنى الحقيقي or something else, whether it has been used in موضوع الله or something else, we need another help. This seventh point about this type of doubt. You know حقيقي, but you don't know whether it is used in حقيقي or not. أما النحو الثاني من الشك فقد أُقِدَ له هذا الأمر. This al-amr as-sabi' is brought and is, put here is developed for this second doubt. إن الشك في المراد, when you don't know what is meant, على أقسام, has different types. So the second type, it's shak fil murad. You don't know what is meant. When you don't know what is meant, it has different types. وَفِي كُلِّ قِسْمٍ أَصْلٌ. For every type we have a principle. a linguistic principle. يجب على الفقيه تطبيق العمل عليه. The jurist must apply that principle. He has to apply or adjust his action according to that principle. Maybe it was easier to say تطبيقه على العمل. But تطبيق العمل عليه means to make sure that your action complies with that principle. وإليك الإشارة إلى أقسام الشك والأصول التي يعمل بها. So now we mention types of doubt that you can have and what are the principles to use. All these doubts are doubts about what? About what is the meaning in which the term is used. What is murad? What is meant? You don't have doubt about ma wuza'ala. You don't have doubt about what is haqiqah. The doubt is whether haqiqah is meant here or not. Okay? So, there are few linguistic principles. أصالة الحقيقة, أصالة العموم, أصالة الإطلاق, أصالة عدم التقدير, أصالة الظهور. 5 principles. What is أصالة الحقيقة? Briefly. If you don't know whether معنى الحقيقي is used or majazi, which one precedes? Haqiqi. You don't go for majaz as long as there is a chance that haqiqa is meant. Because the first assumption is what? Haqiqa. If you have a general term, and you say, is meant or khas? Asalatul umum. You don't go to khas unless there is a qaid. Otherwise you have to go for So akram kulla alimin. If you have doubt whether he really means kulla alimin or he means, for example, some alim. So asalatul umum. If you don't know it's mutlaq or muqayyad, you go for mutlaq unless there is qaid. If you don't know whether something which is not mentioned is meant or nothing which is not mentioned is meant, we say asalatu adam at-taqdir. Okay, the first assumption is nothing which is not mentioned is meant. And asalatu dhuhur, whenever there is ma'na zahiri which is more than 50% and the meaning which is less than 50%. We said we go for zahir. Yeah, asalatu dhuhur, hujjiyatu zawahir. If you remember, we had this discussion before in the previous book that according to some ulama, indeed all these 4 go back to asalatu dhuhur. Because we have zuhur fil haqiqa, we have zuhur fil umum, zuhur fil itlaq, we have zuhur fi adam al-taqdir. Indeed, all are instances of asalatul zuhur. Okay? I think maybe it's enough for today. We go into the details next week. Not next week. Wednesday, inshallah. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.